Still ringing in my ears is the harsh, bitter sound of my own voice, cutting through the air like shards of glass. At least Samuel knew how to love me. He was superior to you in every way. Those words didn't escape gently. They erupted from me amidst an argument with Richard, my husband of 25 years. His eyes widened, his lips parted as if struck, and I could almost hear the break in his heart when he staggered back, his face pale and stunned. The deafening silence that followed was more painful than any slap. My hands shook, my chest burned, and despite my wish to retract those words, they hung heavy and unforgiving in the air. I had just told my husband that my ex was better, and I knew nothing would ever be the same again. Before I proceed, let me take a moment to express gratitude. To all my wonderful subscribers, thank you for being here with me. Your support is the lifeblood of this channel. To all new and returning viewers considering subscription, press that subscribe button, as it motivates me to continue sharing unfiltered and impactful narratives. Additionally, your opinions are valuable. Please share them in the comments section. Now let's delve into my tale. I am Donna, aged 55, a resident of Nebraska. My husband, Richard, is 58. He embodies stability, dependability, and diligence, qualities that command respect. However, he becomes distant within our private space, his affection fading over time. We cohabit, we share financial responsibilities, but somehow we cease sharing our hearts. There's also Samuel, now 57. When I first encountered him in my 20s, he was ablaze, passionate, impulsive, and irresistible. He was the man who made me believe that I could ignite the world with just a look. Decades ago, our relationship terminated due to his instability, yet his intensity lingered in my memory. So when I unexpectedly uttered his name that evening, it wasn't a mere slip-up. It was years of repressed longing bursting forth simultaneously. Richard fixed his gaze on me, his fists balled at his sides, his jaw rigid, but he remained speechless. For an extended moment, he stood still, his breathing labored, his eyes locked on me as if searching for the woman he thought he knew. Then, without uttering a word, he departed from the house, leaving the door ajar behind him. The frigid Nebraska wind invaded, making me shudder, and in that quietness, I understood my marriage had fractured irreparably, perhaps forever. Following Richard's exit that night, silence became my most intimate companion. Days morphed into weeks, and although he reappeared physically at the house, his affection never resurfaced. Our interactions dwindled. The distance between us grew immense, resembling a chasm I couldn't traverse. That was when my past resurfaced. The encounter took place in Omaha during an ordinary Tuesday afternoon at a coffee shop near the Old Market, an establishment seldom frequented by me. There stood Samuel, his hair now streaked with gray, his face etched with the passage of time. But those eyes? They still held that same mischievous spark, filled with fire and possessing the ability to momentarily paralyze me. "Donna," he said, his voice gruff yet velvety, a sound that could subtract years from my age. I gasped. In that instant, I was 25 once more, with my heart throbbing against my ribs, irresistibly attracted to him like a moth to light. We conversed. What started as reminiscing escalated into hours passing. He chuckled at my tales, moved nearer when I spoke, and stirred memories of the vitality I once felt. When his hand touched mine on the table, a surge coursed through me, familiar yet hazardous. I convinced myself it was innocent, just being courteous, but subconsciously, I knew differently. Shortly after, Samuel started phoning me at odd hours. His words resonated with warmth and consideration, things I yearned for from Richard but seldom received. "You seem rather solitary," he said once. I tried to argue otherwise, but my eyes betrayed me. Samuel filled the void left unattended by Richard. His voice painted vivid scenarios of what might have been had I chosen him all those years ago. One evening, I agreed to meet him again. We didn't overstep boundaries, but the tension was palpable. Each glance and each touch drew me in further. He leaned close once, his lips barely a breath away, causing my body to quiver with both passion and remorse. I withdrew, but the damage had already been done. My heart had reopened a door I vowed would remain shut forever. Richard noticed the transformation in me. He observed the late-night smiles, my cautious handling of my phone. One evening as I was in the shower, he retrieved his phone, revealing Samuel's message illuminating the screen like a fiery confession. I still think of you. Emerging from the shower, I found Richard sitting on the bed's edge, his face clouded with an unfamiliar tempest. In that instant, I understood my secret was no longer mine to conceal. Instead of shouting or hurling objects, Richard stared at me, a void in his expression that outweighed rage in its pain. His voice soft, controlled, and definitive, he told me, "You've given your heart to another man. There's nothing left for me here." Within days, he prepared himself. After 25 years of matrimony, he departed with the silent grace of a soul that had been shattered. He left the house to me, but it felt less like a gift and more like a burial ground. For a brief while, I imagined Samuel could mend that void. I longed for his calls, relived his words, and imagined our relationship could finally blossom. But Samuel remained the same man he'd always been, reckless, unpredictable, and without roots. When the gravity of my divorce hit me hard, when I needed stability over fleeting promises, he distanced himself. "I can't fulfill your desires, Donna," he said on the phone one night, his voice wavering yet his resolve unyielding. "I live in the moment. You need more." And then he vanished. No more contact, no more sparks, just silence. At 55, I found myself isolated. The man I'd deceived wouldn't reappear, and the man I idolized disappeared when reality demanded more than passion. My nights grew chillier, my days more burdensome, and the reflection in the mirror showed a woman who had staked everything on a dream that crumbled to pieces. I share this tale not to celebrate the flames of forbidden love, but to expose its ashes. Desire may exhilarate and passion might deceive. Yet unsupported by fidelity, they leave an empty void. I believed I craved Samuel's intensity, but what I truly yearned for was the consistent affection Richard attempted to provide me. A truth now weighing heavily on my shoulders as I realize it was cast aside. Thus, standing here at 55, solitary in a tranquil Nebraska home, I grasped the toughest lesson of my life. Passion without devotion is merely vapor. Many thanks for hearing my narrative. If it resonated with you, kindly share your feelings in the comments. Share your perspectives, like this video. And remember to subscribe to our channel to keep experiencing these unfiltered, genuine, and potent tales together.